Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. This is Professor Diaz, and I wanted to discuss um, and logical and actually. So last lesson we did nested if statements, and I told you that there's an easier way or a way that is more simplified to run this code that we have here, the user temperature and user wind speed code. We have a way to make this simpler, and that's by using logical and. So you could think of and as two conditions that are true, two conditions that are happening. So let me give you an example. Um, let's say, so if the user temperature is 90 and the user wind speed is 20, then this line is going to happen. And to do this, we press backspace here. You just write the word and in between the two conditions. So one condition is user temp is greater than or equal to 90. The next condition is user wind speed greater than or equal to 20. And these are combined in the middle by and. So if the user temperature is greater than 90 and the user wind speed is also greater than or equal to 20, then print this. So both of these conditions have to be happening for the code below to run. And that looks a little bit like this. So let me close up on this truth table here. This is a truth table of logical and. So we have P and Q, this little caret means and. So you have P is true and Q is true. So when P is Q and Q is true, then P and Q is true. The result is true. If P is true and Q is false, well, that means that one of those conditions isn't met, which means that the outcome is going to be false. If P is false and Q is true, again, that means that one of the conditions isn't true, so that's going to be false. And if both the conditions are false, if both P and Q are false, then that result is going to be false. So only one way for the outcome to be true, and that's if all of the conditional statements that we're running, if they are all actually happening, occurring, true. So we can go back to our code and we will shorten it. So if user temp is greater than or equal to 90 and user wind speed is greater than or equal to 20, print is hot day. Elif, else if user wind speed, and then this is going to be a little different. So let me go ahead and arrange this. So we're going to come back here and I'm going to copy this, E, and I need to press the backspace button. So now we are lined up. These conditions are separate. Oh, that's better. I could put if there, but for this code, I'm going to make sure that we use elif. So elif user temp is greater than or equal to 90 and user wind speed is greater than or equal to 10. It is hot and breezy. Likewise, we're going to do the same thing here. And then we also want to take this condition and we want to copy and paste it here. And so now we have a series of nested if statements, or not nested if statements. We have a series of conditional statements that are not nested anymore, and instead they are appended by, or they are combined together by and. So you have a condition on the left and a condition on the right, and if the two of them are happening, then the item below will get printed. And we can test this here. Okay, so we'll run the code, enter the temperature. Let's say that it is 80 degrees. Let's say it's 83 degrees. And let's say the wind speed is 12. Okay, It is warm and breezy. So what this means is that we got the user temperature, we got the user wind speed, and we sorted into these variables, and we checked if the user temperature is greater than or equal to 90 and the user wind speed is greater than or equal to 20. So if this value matches this criteria, and if this value matches this criteria over here, then the code below will run. Well, that's not what happened because I put 83 and 12, and 83 is not greater than 90. So ELIF, the temperature is greater than or equal to 90 and user wind speed is 10. Well, we already don't get the first condition. This is already wrong. So we move on to the next condition. User temp greater than or equal to 80. Okay, yeah, that part's true. This part's true. And user wind speed greater than or equal to 20. Nope, this part's not true. So because even just one of those is wrong, it means that both of those, this whole statement's wrong. This and this, no, because only this. So we go to the next. We go to the next condition. User temp greater than or equal to 80. Okay, yeah, that's us. And user wind speed greater than or equal to 10. Yeah, that's us too. So now we have two conditions that are being met, and that means that the code below is going to run. Let's go ahead and do something a little bit different to help solidify our um, understanding of conditional logical and. So let's create a Boolean variable. Let's say weather, or not weather, rain. Rain equals user input. Oh, we'll just say rain is false. How about that? So rain is false, and then we'll say wind is true, and we'll create a conditional statement that says if rain is true and wind is true, we'll say bring your raincoat, because if it's windy and rainy at the same time, it blows the rain at you. But then we create another condition. Elif rain is false and wind, wait, here we go. If rain is false, remember the two equal signs means is it? So if rain is rain false and wind is false, then we'll say bring an umbrella. And let's make another condition. How about, let's just say else. We're going to say else. How about have a nice day? Or having a nice day, or one or the other. Okay, so we're going to run the code, and it says have a nice day. So the rain is false, and the wind is true. And our conditional statements, we don't have that occurring. And so we check, okay, is rain true and wind true? No. Okay, so we skip over that. We go to elif rain is false. Yeah, that condition's true. And wind is false. Nope, because wind is true. We see that up here. So this isn't going to run. So our else statement runs instead. So we print have a nice day. And I'm getting like a little warning. It's not an error, it's a warning telling me that the condition that this doesn't have to be evaluated this way. You can actually get rid of this if rain and wind, and these default to true. So if rain is true, and wind, if wind is true, then bring your raincoat. If rain is false and wind is false, then blah, blah, blah. And finally, if none of these are occurring, have a nice day. Okay, so this up here is the same thing as writing this. And wind is true. So that's the same thing. I don't have to write this all out. I can actually just backspace here, backspace here. And that's only if the value is going to be true, if we are going to put a true value there, or we mean to interpret whether or not the condition is true. Okay, so that's it for now. I hope that you understand logical and if you do not, then you can reach out and I will help you. So thank you so much for listening. Have a wonderful day.